Hello, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai, coming at you live with a video. Well, as you can see, I have some cardboard boxes, cardboard plates, cardboard slabs, cardboard tube. I have cardboard out my shithole. Now, you're probably wondering as to Outlaw Samurai, why you have so much cardboard? Is this a video talking about cardboard? It may very well be. I may be completely bored out of my damn mind. No, this is not a video talking about cardboard. This is a video talking about how to make a poor man's cutting stand. Now, backyard cutters, we all know, cutting stands, yeah, they're generally cheap to make. Piece of 4x4, a few 2x4s, and a couple of nails, and you're done. But what if you, on a super strict budget, and you can't buy the 2x4s and the 4x4 that you need to make the cutting stand because wood is generally expensive? Well, that's where this video comes into play. This cutting stand, or two as you can see, is a generally good height for a cutting stand. Could be a little taller, but this is a general good length for a cutting stand. Especially when said cutting stand is elevated by about a 3-inch lift. Now, as you can see, I have a few different pieces of cardboard here. What we're going to do is I'm going to make two cutting stands. The first one I'm going to videotape making. The second one I'm going to make off camera, but I will make a video of both of them. They'll be made in the same way with the same materials. So primarily cardboard, a good, wide, stable cardboard box. I got all this cardboard from work, so generally speaking, I didn't have to spend a dime on this. That's a disclaimer I should make. All the materials I'm using I got free, but we all have cardboard boxes laying around the house, and we can all take cardboard and boxes and tape them together into a cutting stand. I'm pretty sure some of you guys, or your neighbors or anything, you all know the guys who keep the boxes of whatever big stuff they order for like weeks until they throw it out thinking they're going to use the box for something else. In my case, I collect this shit religiously and end up using it for a lot of things, and most of it I end up throwing away just because I don't have space for it. But anywho, let's get started. First, you'll take your basic cardboard box. In this case, we're working with one. Well, that clears up space on the table. We're working with one, I'd relatively say about 3-4 inches high. So this gives us a 3 to 4 inch boost on our cutting stand. And this is a 40-inch tube. I know this off the top of my head because I've used these things to make scabbards for my boken. And they work. very good if you use tape and glue and all that other stuff. I'll make a video about making a cardboard scabbard at a later date out of one of these if I still have some. But the first thing you want to do is you want to actually tape this shut. Now, you can go back and put weight into these later on. For all intensive purposes, weight, if you're going to put any kind of weighted objects in this, be it sand, gravel, what have you, you want to do that first off. Especially if the box is completely sealed on the bottom, like this one. I'm not doing that because A, I don't have it with me, and B, if you really have to add it after market, or in this case after it's done, you can always just cut a small hole in the top of the box and then glue the cardboard cutout back in place. It's not necessary that weight needs to be added because by the time we're done with this, the stand itself, while it won't survive in heavy wind, it will be waterproof and it will somewhat waterproof and it will stand up to basic cutting so long as you don't miss and cut the stand. So first, pull out some handy dandy duct tape. And you want to pull enough duct tape to go across the box. Now you can use scissors if you want, but this is Outlaw Samurai. Knives must be used. Knives and swords must be used at all times. So, a good way I learned to do this is actually to split the tape down the middle, stick it to one lid, push the bottom lid in first, then as you push the two lids together, it actually forms a very good seal. You'll also be needing glue. I use super glue just because super glue dries damn quickly on cardboard. Now, you want to take one of your cardboard discs and center it into the middle of the box. This is going to give us a slight bit of lift, first off, and second of all, it's going to put a flat surface to glue our tube to. Now, we can either duct tape this flat piece onto the box or glue it. In this instance, I think taping it will be our most viable option. So again, you want to take pieces that will go the full length, or in this case, the width of the cardboard plate. Center that how you want it. You want your cardboard plate to basically line up with the edges of your box. This has two folds. One, aesthetics, and two, it makes sealing the plate down to the box easier. And if you were to choose to glue it instead of taping the plate to the box, then it gives the glue a channel to hold on to. But since we are taping the plate to the box instead of gluing it, that doesn't really qualify in this case. But there is another reason why you would want to choose tape over glue, and that simply is weight. Tape weighs more than glue. when it dries. And we want to add weight to this. Now, if you really wanted to, I could also see taking and just cutting a small hole in one of the sides of the box with a funnel and just pouring sand down in there. But you have to be careful when adding weight in the form of sand or rock salt or what have you, because you have to basically make sure that the entire box is sealed tight so you don't have sand and rock salt going everywhere every time you transport the stand. Now that this is done, we have our sturdy base. We now add the tube. As you can see, I'm pretty sure most of you have taken notice by now that I haven't marked any of this. And generally when you do crafts and stuff like this, you mark your pieces and all that other crap. I don't really do that because whenever I end up marking shit, it never works for me. So I just usually end up going by eye. Now, this time we are going to glue the tube in place. Don't be afraid to get generous with your super glue. And holding the tube down is a smart idea. Put a little pressure on the tube just to keep it in place. Okay, we have it in place. Now, we're going to set this over here to dry. Now, we could leave it like this, honestly. It won't be the most sturdy thing in the world, but you could leave it like this. However, we want sturdiness. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to basically take these flaps, fold them in half like so, and, or more like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically support the main cutting stand, the main tube part, the main part that you put the target, that you put your water bottles on. Now, you might be thinking, how heavy of a water bottle can I go with this type of stand? And I generally say no heavier than a 2 liter. 2 liter may be pushing it. Now, your Ice Mountain bottles, your arrows, your tea bottles and stuff like that, Coke bottles, those are just fine. They won't impede anything. Just one moment. Sorry about that. I had to check something. But as I was saying, your Ice Mountain bottles and lighter water bottles, it's not going to affect the stand structurability as much because they're fairly light for what you're putting on the stand. 2 liters are generally kind of heavy, and I wouldn't suggest anything heavier than a 2 liter. Don't go trying to use this kind of stand design for 1 gallon jugs. This is basically a light target stand. And while the glue's drying, we're going to start with prepping these. There's good and bad parts of corrugated cardboard. One good part about corrugated cardboard is that if you cut one of the surface plates of the corrugation, it folds a lot easier. So I'd say make an incision about 3/4 of the way up the cardboard and split it into the 3/4 pieces. And we're actually going to try to butt this up as close as we can to the tube. Now these are all going to be duct taped in place. Duct tape and glue are basically the only adhesives that you'll need for the entirety of the project. Now, just as you normally have 4 legs on a cutting stand, you're going to have 4 legs for this. So we're just going to mark our 4 legs. And this is actually coming together rather quickly. Usually my projects like this take an hour to do. But that's usually because I'm measuring and making sure my lines are straight. In this instance, I'm just kind of half-assing my way through it. Not to say that if you take more time, it won't yield better results. It will. It's just that I don't have the patience to wait for said better results. Alright. Now, the glue is going to take a while to dry because I did use a pretty ample amount. So we're going to set the glue over there to dry, out of the way. And we're going to finish duct taping our plate down. You notice I only put duct tape on 2 sides. That was mainly to show you where you want to secure it first. Or if you choose to use glue and duct tape at the same time. This is also a good arts and crafts activity if you have kids. Samurai Brad, I'm looking at you. You have, as far as I'm aware, you still have a young son that I've seen in a couple of your videos, your youngest. If you want, you could make one of these with him. Shout out to Samurai Brad, though. They're not difficult to make. As you've seen, I put this thing together in like 14 minutes of watching me bitch and moan on YouTube. Now, if you're trying to go sparingly on the duct tape, because we do have to spray paint this after it's done. If you want to go sparingly on the duct tape and use mostly glue, you can. It will take longer, but you can do it. I just, like I said, have very little patience and don't like waiting for shit. So I just use the lazy man method. Or, in this case, redneck shit and just cover it in duct tape. Now we're going to butt that right up against the tube and secure it in place with duct tape strips. First, secure the bottom, then turn it, and repeat said process until you have successfully taped all 4 of these to said cutting stand, making sure to overlap the duct tape. Overlapping your duct tape will ensure that it holds better. Because you're basically locking down each strip with another strip. Or also if you want a cheat, or if you are going somewhere and you can't take your larger stand with you, like if you're going on vacation and such, and if you just want a quick, simple makeshift stand to keep in practice with your cutting, this is also a valid answer to that dilemma. Or if you live in an apartment building, again, simple answer to a common dilemma. How am I going to transport my sword stand? Then, once you have secured your 4 pieces to the stand, what you want to do is you want to take the stand and actually wrap duct tape firstly around the 4 supporting pieces, so that way it hugs the stand in place. And then you want to duct tape the actual tops of the stand support pieces to the tube. Now, doing what I just did is the stupid way to do it because there's clearly not enough surface area. Sometimes using wide pieces of duct tape is better, and I just used up all the duct tape I have. Well, I have more, but it's not my truck, and I have to go out and get it. But let's continue, shall we? We will eventually succeed. Defeat is only momentary. There. Then we go back. And trim to fit. There you have it. A secure and simple sword stand base. Also, if you want to ever make a giant cardboard tank the front barrel end of your cannon. Now we're going to set this on the ground. Very good, very stable. And in this case, we can take the trim piece we had left over and use it as our table face. Or it'd be better to do it like so. In our handy dandy super glue. Take it as close to the edge as you can with this. Then we just hold it. And let the glue do its thing. And voila! Presto digitaggio! You have yourself a sword stand, a cutting stand, that actually works. No mess, no no mess, and no fuss. Have that for your coconuts. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's been a lengthy one. But, I hope, and I will have to add some more duct tape. I want to duct tape a little more of this. Especially the ends of the 4 support straps. But it works. So, until next time, I know Band of Outlaws, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe and use your weapons. I'm out. Peace. Remember, shout out to Samurai Bryd. And I'm going to issue a challenge. I challenge all the backyard cutters to make their own cardboard sword stand. Make a video of you making it. Doesn't have to be a full video, just as long as it is showing that you yourself made this. Where your only restraint is that you must only use super glue and duct tape to put the whole thing together. It must be painted. Mine will be painted off camera because I don't have time to do it on camera. The weather won't permit me to do it. But it has to be painted. And it has to at least hold a full 2-liter bottle. We will see how mine holds up against a 2-liter. But it must at least hold up a full 2-liter bottle filled with water. Outlaw Samurai will call this the DIY stand challenge. So, here's my entry. So until next time, I know a band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe in using your weapons, and shoutouts to Samurai Bryd, Eric Hussain, Freestyle Swordsman, Backyard Knife Dude. This challenge is not obligatory, but it is a fun, and I do really want to see the creativity of the backyard cutting community. Especially if we can actually make viable cutting stands out of cardboard and stuff, because eventually they could be disposable. and more economical than always having to buy wood and making new wooden cutting stands. So there's my challenge, the DIY cutting stand challenge. I'm out. Peace.